Good morning. This is Channel 9 News, your favorite news channel. Today we have a special report all about Asian Americans. I'm Ethel Tinoco.
I'm Erica Villadelgado.
Oh.
I'm Tyra Machika.
I'm Natalie Altamirano, and on to the next segment.
I'm Erica Villadelgado, and I'll be your host for this segment. This bit tells you all about how Asians influence the great American culture. As America becomes influenced by the Asian culture, more of it can be seen in your daily life. In the 1960s is when the impact of Asian culture is said to have started. This was when Asian immigration was at its peak. Asian culture has been in America for years. It has shown itself in various forms such as dramas, anime, manga, food, and many more. However, many of these things come from way back then in the 1960s. This was when some of the first Asian immigrants came to America. They came to states such as California, Louisiana, New York, etc. A place called Shunli Palace is known for being the first Asian restaurant to receive a 4-star rating from the New York Times Magazine. New York Times reviewer Mimi Shiraton says, as do the staffs of so many other Chinese restaurants, the Shunli Palace culinary staff puts its best efforts behind what it considers the most interesting dishes. This review is truly what is believed to have sparked the uprising of Asian culture in America. Fashion has also made its way in the US. Japanese designers have shared their headlines with many areas such as New York. Director of the Asian Cultural Council, Richard Lanier, says, American awareness of and appreciation for Japanese culture is greater than it has ever been. The Asian fashion and culture has shown itself to be never better than before. However, we must not forget about Asian pop culture. Asian films have grown to be a very popular part of Asian culture. Famous films such as Spirited Away were introduced in the 2000s and have made a positive influence on America. Even Asian movies like Mirai were nominated for Best Animated Feature this year. Great impacts like these were able to make up some of the culture we have in America today. Asian culture surely did impact the U.S.
June 10th, 1886. Setsu Haikawa was born in Chiba, Japan. He was supposed to be a naval officer, but that never worked out. After a failed suicide attempt at 15 years old, he moved to Los Angeles and worked in the Japanese Playhouse. There, he met Thomas H. Inc., a person who would change his life forever. Thomas was a Hollywood film producer, and he proposed Setsu a deal. For $500 per week, Setsu would star in a film called The Typhoon. He took the deal. When the movie came out, it was an instant hit, and Setsu starred in 79 other movies after that. He even made his own movie company called Hollywood Pictures Corporation, which made 23 movies. He lived lavishly. He owned a one-of-a-kind car, which he donated to the Long Island Fire Department when it wasn't one-of-a-kind anymore. He lost $9,605 at a night in a casino and didn't go broke. Setsu Haikawa retired in 1996 after 80 films and 52 years acting. He became a Zen priest and taught private acting lessons. Setsu died on November 23rd, 1973, at 83 years old by pneumonia. Setsu helped shape American culture by being a Japanese-American actor that was widely loved in the 1910s to the 1920s. Back then, America was a lot more racist than now, but he broke the racial stigma and became a symbol of silent films. He led to other Asian Americans becoming actors like Yan Chen, Shioli Kutsuna, and Janny Mai. And now, a word from our sponsor. Do you hate melted chocolate getting all in your hands? Well, we have the solution for you. Pocky. Pocky is this revolutionary snack that is a biscuit dipped in chocolate. But there's a handle on top, so you don't ever have to touch the chocolate. It comes in an assortment of flavors, and it costs $1.14 for a box. Get one now at your local grocery store. And now, back to the news.
Dileep Singh was born in 1899 in Amritsar, India. He came to America to study food preservation at a college in California called Berkeley. As this did not turn out, Dileep ended up running for a Congress representative in 1952 as a Democrat. As a result, Dalip was the first Asian American in history to be elected for Congress. In the 1940s, before Dalip was elected for the U.S. Congress, he had helped convince the U.S. Congress to establish the Luce-Celler Act of 1946. This act had naturalized rights to Indian immigrants. This act had helped many other Asian immigrants because before the act, Asian immigrants faced a lot of restrictive laws and violence. And after the act, it was easier for Asian immigrants to get American citizenships as long as they fulfilled the requirements needed. Dalip Singh had written an autobiography called Congressman for India, and this book was about the struggles, defeats, joy, and recoveries of a 20-year-old native of India. And nearly 20 years later, because he became the United States Congressman. Dalip had broken the barrier for Asian immigrants and fought against discrimination. He served in Congress for almost 3 years as he suffered from a stroke and later died in 1973. He served for a total of 6 years in Congress. Dalip Singh had died at the young age of 55 years old from 1938 to 1993. Dalip Singh had a big impact on shaping American culture because of his dedication and passionate, selflessness personality. He dedicated his life in an effort to help other Asian immigrants like how he once was. Therefore, Dalip Singh had a major impact for Asian immigrants and also a major impact on American culture for the things he did.
The gold rush was significant importance in America's creations. It is found that Chinese immigrants made an impact to the gold rush during the 1890s. The famous James W. Marshall said, "My eye was caught with a glimpse of something shining in the ditch." He was one of the first prospectors to see the gold. The gold later attracted many Asians like it did with others, and they began to work there. Before, they were farmers or sailors with low income. In China, there was a lot of political issues. The Asians gained the jobs of being miners, factory workers, fishermen, or laborers. The gold mines did allow many people to get jobs, but with the Asians, some of the jobs will be booked. The workers began to get angry at the Chinese for taking away their jobs. They started to discriminate against them. By the way, they were put in the group with African Americans and Indians. They were under racist union leaders. Some of them would unemploy them. It got so bad, people made anti-Chinese groups such as the Chinese Must Go movement. In the West Coast, there was many violence and anti-Chinese legislation. On the Angel Island, there was a facility which basically was a detention center. Many Asians would spend weeks there. Although they were treated poorly, they continued to work hard. The immigrants were productive, resourceful, and smart. In 1870, they represented about 20% of the work in California. Many young Chinese men came to America between 1849 and 1853. They wanted to find better jobs and get wealthier. Think about the hard work the Asian Americans worked to get the gold. Although your belongings that are gold aren't from the gold rush, they were still produced by someone's valuable time. Asian Americans have become the highest income and the fastest growing racial group. They are also one of the best educated.
That is it for the day. Thank you for watching Channel 9 News. Have a good one.